there are situations when someone will enter the wrong reading. Okay.
Yes, a person can maybe alemona kwati 5 aingisha 2. But is required to take a picture.
What assurance do you get that abantu nabapokerera?
So we saw a lot of advantages over the electronic method of sending bills as opposed to the paper-based one.
Hello viewers of Lono TV, welcome to the PAMUPANDO program, the People's Chair, a program meant to bring on leaders and those that are delivering service to the people, only for you, the viewers, to have the front row seat in buying into their vision, record and commitment to service delivery and leadership. So today on the program, we have brought in the Managing Director from Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company here in Kasama, so that we get to discuss various issues pertaining to their provision of service here in Kasama. And of course, mainly we want to talk about prepaid meters that were actually done away with, the digital meter readings that were done away with, to revert to the manual or the manual way of doing things. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Sure. So maybe if you can just give us a brief introduction of who you are, so that the people get to understand, away from the aspect of being the Managing Director for Chambeshi.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Engineer Chamanika. I'm the Managing Director for Chambeshi Water Supply and Sanitation Company.
Yes.
So as an engineer, I have 23 years of experience. And my experience basically spans from the mining sector, and now I'm in the water sector. So basically, I've been in the water sector for 10 years now.
Okay.
So that's the experience that I have in the water sector. The rest of the years, the 13 years, I spent them with the mining sector. Sure.
Thank you so much. And for the purpose of much more understanding, since we are talking of Kasama itself, we are going to try to bring in the Bemba aspect. I don't know how comfortable you are with.
No, I'm very comfortable.
Sure. So, kuchirisha mwema viewers besu tulelanda na Managing Director ba Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company pamulandu wakuchinja kwa meter readings nangola afira kwale bokushita amenshi kubompya prepaid meter la lokwashire boku chita revert back to the manual way of doing things uko BSFM ku reading ama readings then abatu chita bill na pamulandu yu Mr. Chamanika kutina temwa mwa londorela kwa abantu kwa bulano okupose nshita charisa becha kupapusha ku bantu abengi ero kwashire bokuchinja from the prepaid meter way of doing things, which is the digital improvement, which most people appreciated so much, that Chambeshi we are going digital. Then kwaisa bokuchinja kubwera kuli manual way of doing things. Chinshi chikalamba sana cha forcing in ba Chambeshi okubwerera mu reading ama meters manually ngefyo chali akadero tule kala muchalo chile chita advance into digital things, and so many companies are going digital. What forced Chambeshi to get back to the manual way of doing things?
Thank you very much. Natotela sana. When I find about Chambeshi Water, we continue to embrace, innovation. We continue to embrace, automation. And basically what prompted us, to go the prepaid way is because of the benefits that, of course, we saw with the coming in of that technology, both on our side as in our Chambeshi Water, then also on the side of, our customer base. When we first embraced, this technology, it was should have been way back in 2021, 2022.
Yes.
That's when Erotwa touch install, IAMA meters. And for any technology, let's embrace any new technology. There are certain conditions that technology has to meet in order for it to actually, function properly. Yes. So for this meter, basically, conditions that prevailed by then were that we needed to have constant supply, mesh. Meaning that the meter should be able to detect constant supply of water. Remember, this meter being a prepaid meter, it had quite an electronic component, then it has also got the mechanical component. So in order for that, basically prepaid meter is either directed by the electronic part, meaning that either quite a battery
Yes.
That's the one that keeps now the electronic component functioning. Now the conditions that meter required for each to function properly was that one, we needed to have constant supply of water. Okay. And as a water utility company, for we are dependent on ZESCO. So basically, for us to produce the water, we are dependent on electricity. So back then, when we embraced this technology, takwadi issues of load shedding. By then, we're talking of 2020, 2021, takwadi. So we had constant supply of water in our taps, and the meter worked very well for us. So for about 2 years or so, meter yali tubombera wino sana. When we first installed those meters, I think we would raise a revenue of around 1 million per month. That was the revenue. But
so
after
meters, they were perfect.
They were perfect.
In
then,
for you,
then,
as,
for us,
as a
yes,
company.
as a company, yes. For us, they were perfect. They were also perfect for the customer as well. Yes. Now, with time, when we got to somewhere around 2023, 2024, we started noticing a decline in terms of our revenue. All of a sudden, from 1 million kwacha per month, revenue actually up to less than 300,000 kwacha. So we got concerned to say, what is happening here? Why is it all of a sudden to a drop, such a sudden drop in revenue? So we decided to do an analysis just to find out what is it that is pertaining on the ground. So we did an analysis where we went on the ground. We started visiting our customers just to appreciate what is the challenge. Why is it that our revenue all of a sudden has actually dropped? So what we realized is that quality failures, a lot of failures. We discovered a lot of failures on the electronic part, the battery part of the meter. So customers started experiencing a lot of battery failures. A lot of error codes were being generated. So from time to time, we'd receive phone calls from customers say, meter, closed mode and the like, and then we'd send our people to go and resolve all those. Then the other issue here is so serious. What we observe is that meter yari amboku pela overdraft kuma customers says. It would give an overdraft of up to 5 months. Customer yari pela overdraft, meaning that in that 5 months, customer arepokelera menshi, but tareisa mukushita menshi.
Okay.
So that prompted us to say, this is the reason why now we've seen a drop in our revenue, because customers are not coming to buy our water. Instead, our meter is actually giving our customers free water for such a a long period of time. Okay. So we engaged the supplier of this particular meter to say that's what we've actually observed that our customer base now but when you visit them, they'll tell you to the pocket. So when the manufacturer of the meter, got wind of this. Also, they took an interest to find out what conditions on the ground have actually changed that have prompted our meter, to behave like this. And what was actually concluded was that because of the onset of the load shedding, because if you remember, 2023, somewhere around March, that's when we had the peak in terms of load shedding, and also power interruptions were very, very frequent. Yes. So as a result of that, power interruptions, as a result of load shedding, we find that also our water supply also became intermittent, meaning that meter is number kwalebati So as a result of that, the battery would do sense kwalebati sensing it switches on. Switches off. So now the frequency of on off had an effect now on the battery life. So we started seeing battery
Okay.
As a result of that,
not having
water consistently.
Through and through.
Yes. So the manufacturer now concluded, to say no, because of now the intermittent water supply, it is having an effect on the battery life. So sometimes battery it will close when the valve on the meter is open. Okay. So that way to allow water customer just like that. Then also there's also the issue of programming. That also started affecting the programming. That's how the overdraft issue now came in. Okay. Because of that now overdraft. Okay. So now because of that now it prompted us to say we are a commercial water utility, meaning that we are in business. So we had now to make a business decision. What do we do? Yes, a prepaid meter is a good thing. It's a good thing for us as Chambeshi. It's a good thing for a customer. But because of the prevailing condition, there's a condition here that is not being met, which is now affecting Not only us as a water utility, but also a customer, because my customers were being affected either in a positive way or in a negative way. Those that valve yaba open, but the pocket data family. Then inconvenience valve yadi sarikafi. So we saw those complaints coming through from the customer, and then from our end, to losing a revenue. So we thought it wise, and for the time being, I think let's pose this challenge to the manufacturer to say, I think there's more work that needs to be done to improve on this technology. Okay. So as that is being done, we resorted to say, no, let's revert back to the postpaid, as this issue is being addressed by the manufacturer.
Okay, maybe on the issue of one thing that I've gotten from you is the meters issue, the complications that came with the meters affected the company negatively in terms of revenue.
Exactly.
And the main challenge was inconsistency in terms of water supply to these meters affected the operations of the meters. But then don't you think that was your fault as Chambeshi, because it is not the customer's fault that you are not providing water that can go into these meters? Is how is that the customer's fault? And also before you handle that one, you talked of the battery. These meters being run by battery. How is electricity coming in when it comes to battery issues? Is in the battery something that is those meters were not using electricity? They were running on battery. So how is that affecting the meter when it's running on battery? Because if the battery is there, my understanding is the meter should continue working perfectly as long as the battery is there.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. To tackle the first part of your question, where you're saying, is it the fault of the customer? So definitely it's not the fault of
water.
It's definitely it's not the fault of the customer. I think as a company, we are the ones that embrace this technology. So like I stated earlier on, when we embrace this technology, there were conditions that were sent. I think back then, 2020, 2021, we didn't anticipate that we would have load shedding to the extent at which it happened. So we never anticipated that aspect. For us, what we knew is that we operate in a condition where ZESCO supply is actually constant, and then our water supply will also be constant. So we never anticipated that, but unfortunately, because of unforeseen circumstances, that thing happened. Now, to come to the second part of your question, the battery issue. So the way the meter operates, the battery is able to sense it senses water flow. So when it senses water flow, the meter will remain on. The minute water flow is actually cut, or it doesn't sense there's no water for a long period of time, the battery will have to switch off. So apart from just the load shedding, you saw the intermittence in terms of supply, because I think there was a period of time when the power situation got so bad to an extent that the local ZESCO office now was actually being controlled from they had no control. They were being controlled from from Lusaka, which is their head office. So apart from the load shedding itself, we also saw the intermittence, because despite the fact that ZESCO would generate schedules for load shedding, they were failing to follow that, because there were times when the power situation got so critical that they were just cut off. So because of that intermittence, we find that yes, you have a schedule, power is coming, water is flowing, then all of a sudden power cuts. So that battery now would sense, because the way it functions, it's able to sense the availability of water. If there's no water, so you find that if it continues now to, what used to happen is that if water is there, the meter would be on. If water goes, it cuts. So now, because of that frequency of the on off, it had an effect now on the life of the
maybe,
of the,
sir,
of the
not to cut you short. You've talked of ZESCO being the biggest impact that you had.
Yes.
But when we look at certain areas in Kasama, there are areas that still, even when there was this electricity issue, it wasn't as bad as it became. There were areas in Kasama, say Mulenga Hills, where they had issues of water supply. And you still installed those meters in those areas, despite not having the load shedding. You can actually confirm to say in Kasama, there were still areas that weren't receiving constant water supply, even then, before load shedding. One example would be Mulenga Hills, where we've had this challenge for the longest period of time, where people don't receive water consistently. And you still installed these meters. During that time when there wasn't load shedding, people were still experiencing water shortages and these issues. Were those meters working perfectly still under those conditions?
Okay. Let me give you a scenario. I think for us, before even installing of these meters, before we installed the meters, you know, there's a project that came on, which was actually funded by the ADB. So Mulenga was one of the areas that was identified, because this is one of the area where we had a lot of issues in terms of water supply. No wonder when this project came on board, we concentrated on Mulenga. So in Mulenga, we put up a new a plant, specifically for Mulenga. Then we also put up a number of storage reservoirs, specifically for Mulenga, so that we can resolve the issue of the water, the inadequate water in Mulenga. So by the time we were thinking of going prepaid, we had already sorted out the issue of inadequate water supply in Mulenga. And during that time, I can tell you that waters of water supply in Mulenga had reached in 20 hours average. There were even areas in Mulenga that were receiving 24 hours of water supply. So that issue of inadequate water supply in Mulenga, we addressed it before we actually embraced the prepaid metering technology.
Okay. So now we are in a situation where these meters have been removed from the customers, and we go back to the postpaid billing system. How did the people receive this? How from the customers? How did they receive it? Don't you think most of the customers never liked this issue? And how did Chambeshi transition from the prepaid meter to the post meter? This transition, was it a right decision? Was it done properly how it's supposed to be done?
Yeah, definitely. So first and foremost, maybe a correction. These meters, we haven't removed the meter.
Yes, they are
still the same meter.
Yes. So
basically what we did was just a conversion. Just by pressing of just some numbers, we were able to convert the meter from prepaid to to postpaid. So basically we didn't remove the meter physically. All we did was just enter some numbers so that we convert it to operate from prepaid to the postpaid. Yeah. So in regards to how we did the process, I think from our end we did the necessary processes. The first thing that we did was engagement of our customers, because they are a very important stakeholder. There's no way we can just embark on such a huge process without informing our customers. So we involved our customers. So we did that engagement with
how was it done? How was it done?
The engagement was actually done through community meetings. We held some community meetings right within the communities themselves. Then we went on radio, through media. We came to yourselves as well. You came through, and we had that discussion. So basically we used both the physical meetings and also we made use of the electronic media, the media, social media, and the like. So I think we also informed the relevant authorities, because remember, Chambeshi Water, we are regulated by NWASCO. They are our regulator. So we wrote to our regulator as well, informing them of our move. So I think we did the necessary arrangement. We also, the political leadership was also informed about that, the village leadership. So basically we targeted all the important stakeholders. So that engagement was actually done. That because of these issues, Chambeshi has now decided to convert these meters to postpaid.
Okay, thank you so much. Now the time passes, you've communicated with the people, of which still, I don't know how long it took for Chambeshi to cut off the prepaid meter and move to post-paid meter. And I don't know, can you specify at what period, maybe the time frame that it took when you made that decision to say, let's get back to the post-paid? How long did it take to change?
The process take? Yeah, so basically, I think approximately it took us about 4 months to do the conversion, because now we had to go door to door, and sometimes you find that you visit a property, you find that the owners of the property are not there. So I think basically, in short, it took us around 4 months to have the whole exercise completed.
Okay, and now after mwachinja mwambo kubonfya the postpaid, which meant mufine muletuma abantu kuya mkureadinga meters yawo, then valeta information, then you do the calculation of the billing.
Exactly.
Now, this process has brought in an agent in between Chambeshi and the people on the other hand.
Yes.
How sure are you that these people actually go to the sites and get the readings that needs to be taken? Ema actual readings obesa na mkuleta ku office kuchambeshi. What assurance is there?
Yeah, icho chishinka. I think for us as well, when twalepange decision yakuya, back to postpaid, we took into consideration the human aspect, because I think from the past experience, I think we've always been having a
such
conflict with customers because of the human element. So as a water utility company, we've come up with an innovation on a collection of meter readings. So we've introduced what we call a meter reading app. This is an electronic system of reading a meter. So our IT department developed a meter reading app, which is actually installed on the phone. So it is an app which is installed on the phone. So a meter reader will go with that app on the phone. When he goes to a customer, he will enter the readings on the phone, and that system is actually now integrated with our billing system. So as he records the meter readings, that information is actually conveyed to our billing system. Then when he's done now with the entering of those meter readings, so apart from entering the meter readings, you could take the coordinate to ask for the name, the NRC of the customer, all that information he enters. Then at the end of it all, he's required now to take a picture of the meter reading. So on that picture, it will depict the meter number of that particular meter, and also to depict the meter reading.
Okay.
So that's one aspect that we've actually introduced, the assurance.
When was that introduced? From the very time that you
Yes, from the very time, even before we thought of, we were making plans to actually convert, our IT was on the ground to say, no, let's come up with a system, because we know that when we revert to postpaid, the human error aspect will start coming in. So that app was actually developed, and by the time we were actually transitioning back into postpaid, our meter reading app was up and ready.
Okay.
So now with that, that human error aspect gives us an assurance that.
But then, Director, when what you have explained, fin to fimwefia kwebati, ine from a point of view of umuntu munangan, because I know there are a lot of the workers that you have. Kasama is quite big, and you have a lot of people that are on the ground doing this kind of work, and some might just be lazy. All those things that you have mentioned, those are things that I can just sit down, because munchendo vaya vala and they understand what is needed. Those things that you have mentioned, such as kuchita provide readings, pameter, provision of a picture. Those are things that I can manipulate, easily manipulate. If I have a smartphone, nakopa naleta ama readings nachita enta mulika app, because tamulipo, and the system will just receive the way those things are. Is there any other assurance if rationing show but uyu muntu achia pa site na ama readings achita enta fishinga, is that picture even having the date of when this person went there?
Exactly. So those are the controls that are there. I think you've mentioned them very well. Number one, ngaya pada pa site, coordinates are picked. Automatically, the system will pick the coordinate. Touch the enter. Ngaya to where the meter is. Ama coordinates yala Engr system. That's the number one indicator. Number two, it will give you the date and time. So those are not things that the meter reader enters, but automatically the system is able to pick at all.
And what does the meter reader enter?
The meter reader basically just enters the reading. Okay. That's just what it enters. And of course, the information for the customer name, the name of the customer, the NRC and the like, those are the things that it enters. But these other things like the date, the coordinates, the time, those are inbuilt.
Okay.
So pape anything gaya, the system records to say, oh, you muntu achisa mkuberenga meter pali insta on this date and in this time. And now we also ask for the picture. So ida picture yalalanga exactly the meter number yalalanga buino nama readings buino. So why we insist on the picture, so that customer guys that she confident na meter reading. Who gets that same picture to say no. the reading that was captured ni hapa, and we will go physically on the meter and mona no mwinati because meter taenda sana.
Okay.
You know, so we will be able to verify that chachini
reading yobafumine mkuchita capture previously. And now before we go on our very first break, maybe you can address this issue. Are there situations when ababantu abamuku reading they are human beings? There are situations when someone will enter the wrong reading. Yeah, cause muntu fena ena para kuchita enter kuchita enter wrong reading, and this mistake comes to your offices. How do you fix such kind of mistakes where somebody entered the wrong reading muri system?
Yes. So for us, what has excited us so much, it's tusekesha sana about the the meter reading app ni taking of a picture.
Okay.
Yes, a person can maybe alemona kwati ni 5 aingisha 2. But is required to take a picture. So in a picture, the pictures don't lie. In a picture alalanga exactly that ida 2 ni 5. So now when entering the readings, in the ecosystem yala chita detect to say no, what you've entered is not matching with the reading that is on the picture. Yes.
So the system.
So that's the control. The system is able to do that.
It's connected the picture and the reading that you're going to enter.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Padi Kanokashita, we are going to go on a very short break, and when we come back, tuchiti tulela nshanya na managing director ba Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company pamulanduwama mita ayo ba isafu myako na ngulo kuwelera kuli postpaid billing other than fira kwale bokushita menshi kubomfya prepaid. So please stay with us as we go on this short break.
Lono Studios cares about your memories, and what better way to keep your memories than having pictures and videos. As Lono Studios, we cover events such as weddings, kitchen parties, chilanga mulilo, birthday parties, as well as corporate events. If you are looking for quality pictures and videos for such events, look no further than Lono Studios. Visit and like our Facebook page at LonoZM.
All right, welcome back. You are still watching PAMUPANDO, the People's Chair, Epotulela Nshanyana ba Managing Director ba Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company. Pamulanduwama prepaid meter eyoba isafu myako no kubwekesha ko postpaid billing ili akwale wokulipirirapo akale. Managing Director padi uyumulandu kwa isaba imbiwe okubokupokereramu ama bills after ba reading abene bayana kulya ba chita enter into the system then imomwa bidding then inshira mwaisa asanga ukweba ati eyo abantu bengapokereramu information yakwe bati kuba tumina ama SMS and I believe you have your own reasons why you reverted to the SMS system. Now what assurance do you get that abantu nabapokerera ayama messages?
Okay, thank you very much. So our the way we would inform our customers on the bill was paper based.
Yes.
So would you print out bills then no to me. Yes. So we saw a lot of disadvantages. Number one, first and foremost, printing, paper is a cost. And then, technology had evolved. Is now electronic form of communication. So the other disadvantage with paper, if you would maybe use public transport to send, these bills, because these bills are printed from Kasam, and then we now distribute them to the other districts. So we'd use sometimes public transport, sometimes our own, but sometimes you find that the breakdown occurs along the way, and then I'm abusing, delayed. So when this innovation of sending bulk, messages came up, we thought of jumping on board. One, it reduces cost. Paper printing is a cost. So we saw this, electronic, method as a more efficient method, because all it requires is for you to get, your customer, the contact number for the customer. You just load it into the system, and then you do a bulk offload. The messages will be able to actually reach the customer. So we saw this as an innovation and a more, better way of ensuring that, bills are actually reaching the customer. Yes. So we saw a lot of advantages over the electronic method of sending bills as opposed to the paper-based one.
Yes. Now, imwenga wa Chambeshi, first of all, mwalifiro kukontolola issue ya prepaid after mwakwata ama failures. You reverted to the traditional way of doing things. Then here you are telling us to say you saw an opportunity in the digital system of doing things and pushed that so that customers can be receiving that. Ni assurance insho mukwato kubati bana kulu musonda kuchitamba n'abapokerera ka SMS aka n'abamona nama bill bakwete ku Chambeshi. If a company like you can fail to adopt and find a solution to the problem that you are having with the digital system, then you give the customer to say receive your bills using the digital. Ni assurance mushumkwata bana kulu musonda kuchitamba n'abapokerera I bill.
Assurance to akwata is that e-system today, definitely the bulk messaging, we are using AMA service providers. We are using Airtel, MTN, you know, Zamtel. These are the service providers that we are basically using. So yes, whilst to just appreciate that, you know, sometimes network killer, but apo yaraishira network. For as long as we've uploaded these messages, apo pe ni yaraishira network. This the customer will be able to receive the bill. Not only that, also in terms of if we as a company we embrace technology. No wonder even the prepaid meter we embraced it because at that time we thought that it would work well, but of course conditions changed along the way, which made us now revert back to to the postpaid system.
Postpaid,
yes. So technology now it's evolve. Also we've come up with our own USSD code. And this is *220 hash. This is our USSD code. So the fortunate part is that now, if we, for example, we do a bulk load of AMA messages to AMA bills, then for one reason or the other, the bill doesn't reach the customer. The customer has also got a second option of using our USSD code. So by just dialing *220 hash, it appears options, and one of the options is to check your balance. So wherever you are at any time, whether day or night, the customer is still able to check what their bill is. So there's also that option. Apart from just sending the bills, the messages, there's also the option.
So if the customer does not receive the message,
yes,
they have an option of checking. But then understanding, the director, understanding the fact that you are dealing with different customers.
Exactly.
Na pari wa customer bambi omkwata bambi no kuberenga tabaishwa bambi ngefine ndera ndalibana kurumusonda kuchitamba abo chilanshita kuitomu ishkuratiwe tinikirako njingishako ka talk time. Then aba bantu mwaba forcing okobati bare chita ifyonse firi digital. And when you look at more developed countries, talk of America, these big well-developed countries, they still send AMA bills. Every month you find people receiving muma mail, kaisaka bill baba letero kobati, oh, these are the bills that you are having. Why is a country like Zambia, which is less developed than these more developed countries that are using this same system of billing people, mwaba tuarirama bills, decides to just forget about handing people the bill to give them an assurance about a bill mkwete nero kwaisa kukubesalira tabakwate claim yakuba nshapokerere bill wawe nshai mweni. Why did you still insist that this is the only way to go?
Okay, I think basically we did our research. I think you are referring to our names from the developed nations. I think in the developed nations, I think everything now has actually gone electronic. I think they are no longer using paper-based kind of transactions. But of course, I think for us also we've taken into recognizance to say no, Abantu, so some of them they are uneducated, and for us we've continued to educate, to engage our customers. So today basambidisha. So as we interact with the customers, we always endeavor don't say kubasambidisha, because these are simple techniques. Nangubana kulu turekala nabo punch to adamayo if you kuchitani if you so we continue encouraging our employees to continue educating our people until people now get to appreciate.
Then of course that also takes us back to the same situation of sending these bills to customers. I can assure you, I'm one of your customers, and I think that was December. I had made a payment using the USSD mode for December. Then January, I received a bill which is very high, which I didn't even expect. This is from a real life scenario. I received a bill very high which I wasn't expecting. Then I had to make a follow-up. Of course, checking on my balances, I see what is there. Then making a follow-up, then I'm told the bill that you are currently having, there is no December bill. It hasn't been generated. So these are errors that can still exist. The bill for December hasn't been generated yet. Then the amount that you paid for December is also not reflecting in the system. Then you are told to wait for a certain period of time. Then during this confusion, there is an order that Chambeshi makes to say water, she punched songa tamulipire wala isala. So for a customer who is unfortunate, bafiro kulipira bill because there are still these ongoing issues. Shiba be salila. What assurance or what penalties is Chambeshi going to take in for such kind of an occurrence? Because their fault ya kwa customer. It's the company's fault that there are these irregularities. And the customer cannot make a payment, whereas there are these issues that need to be sorted out. Yet there is a period that you have said to say, usually they are not informed of such kind of issues. So customer issues that Chambeshi needs to sort. It's not the fault of the customer.
Very, very true. If we have a Chambeshi water supply and sanitation company, we value customer care. So by all means, that to watch the inconvenience customer base. But like you stated, yes, technology has come in, but there are times when technology fails. That is the truth. So basically, what we do is that to encourage our customer base to say, if you have now any challenge of any sort, quickly engage us. We've got district offices here in Kasama. We've got the head office. If you feel you are not being assisted to district office, rush to the head office. Call me as managing director to say, no, managing director, in any quarter issue. In a bill, there's this issue, I'm unable to make a payment. So rush to us, engage us, and we endeavor to ensure that we assist you. We endeavor to ensure that during that time when we're resolving your issue, you shouldn't be inconvenienced as a customer. That feel to disconnect to inconvenience you. So effort to engage, the only appeal that I can make to customers now any challenge of any sort, that's the appeal to our customers to tell that offices. Yes, we've got district offices. We've also got the head office. Mukasam. Even Nama districts Yambi. Rush to the head office. Ngamamona tabale miafuidisha ko ine as managing director to say never managing director and it will to make sure that the inconvenience will work to ensure that issue to resolve. So this encourage our customer once again. Any challenge, rush to our offices. Districts come to head office. Call me as managing director. Will come and ensure that your issue is actually resolved. Sure.
Totally your resolution, director. Then also come to talk of this same prepaid meter that has been done away with. Right now, we are seeing the change in terms of electricity supply. Has that worked as an advantage for Chambeshi?
Yes, definitely. It has actually worked as an advantage. Like I stated earlier on, us, we are 100% dependent on ZESCO. Currently, we don't have any plant that is actually being run by solar. But of course, there's a project, I think that will be starting very soon, where we're going to put solar on our plants here. But at the moment, we're 100% dependent on ZESCO. And for us, I think for the past 1 going to 2 months now, we've seen stability in terms of power supply. And this has been a huge boost for us because now we're actually able to pay our customer base consistent. So this is a good move for us. So if it continues, it means now we'll be going towards also start thinking again now going prepaid.
Yes. Now, maybe that's what I also wanted to revert to. Is the meter, prepaid meter issue, was it the Kasama or Northern Province technology embracement, or it was a countrywide thing?
No, it's a countrywide thing.
How have others handled the issue?
Yes. The first water utility that embraced prepaid metering in Lusaka Water. They were the first water utility company in Zambia that embraced, prepaid metering, and they were the first ones also to abandon. So the Lusaka Water, abandoned the technology because of the same, challenges that I highlighted earlier on. The second water utility was Kafubu, and the beauty with Kafubu, in a meter was installed under Chambeshi. It's the same meter that they experimented also in Kafubu Water. So Kafubu Water also went through the same challenges that we are going through. Nabena, they abandoned and reverted, back to postpaid. So this issue is not just affecting Ifwenga Chambeshi or Kasama, Northern Province or Mchinga Province, but it's affecting the whole country. So at the moment, Tatulafika is stage in terms of technology on water prepaid meter. There are still some, technological developments that needs to be done on the meter. So it affect Ifwebekanga Chambeshi, but it affect your water utilities. At the moment, there's no water utility company that is actually needed on a prepaid meter because of these disadvantages that I highlighted earlier on.
All right. There you heard it. I hope this interview has actually answered some of the questions that you've had concerning the prepaid meter na kubwerera kuli post meter billing eyo by Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company by later kona palikano kashita. We are going to go on a very short break, and when we come back we continue with today's discussion, so please stay tuned. Mkwai kanshi tuchili tulela nshanya na ba managing director ba Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company pamulandu wa ma prepaid meter no kubwerera kuli postpaid meter billing. Now director, you measure yo mwaisa taking ya kubwerera kuli analog billing or rather meter reading. How long is it going to take before we get back to the beautifully well accepted and something that worked well for you as a company and it worked well for the customers? How long shall we wait before getting back to the automated system?
Yeah, if our desire as a company, I think as soon as possible.
Okay.
So, like I stated
right
earlier
now,
on,
electricity is going very well.
So, like I stated earlier on, we have engagements with the suppliers, the manufacturers of these meters, and they too, are doing their work to ensure that they actually perfect, this meter. So our desire is that very, very, very soon, we should be able to go back to prepaid. So I want to assure our customers that we have not abandoned prepaid, metering, but it's a work in progress. So currently, the manufacturer has taken note of, these inconsistencies that were actually noticed, and is currently working to ensure that, these inconsistencies are rectified and corrected. So once that is actually done, we'll definitely shift back to prepaid. The beauty is that we did not uproot these meters. These meters are still installed on the premises of our customers. So once we are satisfied that those issues have actually been worked on, we'll just come and then just input some digits, and then the meter will be converted back to prepaid.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Then talking of the issue of electricity, which is obviously better now, and I'm sure by now Chambeshi has no excuse as to why people should not have water in their homes. But then, if this is the situation, and Chambeshi has already noticed to say electricity is a big factor, and there is no assurance that this is what is going to be on the ground for the next few months or even for the next few years to come. When are we expecting Chambeshi to start becoming an independent entity when it comes to dependence on electricity?
No, very, very, very good question. Yeah, so like I stated, I think earlier on I touched on it. Yeah, I think as Chambeshi, we've actually realized that, our dependence on ZESCO is actually affecting us, because you find that when ZESCO is affected, we are also affected. So there's technology has evolved now. There's now green energy. And as a water utility company, we've also embraced, embraced the green energy. So in this case, we are talking about, solar energy. So I think with the help of government and of course the European Union, some funding has actually been made available to a tune of around 6.3 million euros. So with this money, we're actually going to solarize all our plants. We're talking of the whole northern province and the whole of Mchinga where we actually operate. We are going to ensure that our pumps are actually running on solar. So this is the project. Currently, the project is on tender stage. I think the tender is closing on the 15th of this month. So works are actually expected to start, second quarter of this year. So those works will actually start. So this project is called the NUSA project. So it has 3 components. We've got the solarization, where we're going to install solar on all our plants. And then we've also got pump replacements. We're going to replace all the old pumping systems with the new ones. And then we're going to also it has also got a component of network extensions. So those areas that are currently not receiving our service, under this project, we are going to extend the network so that they're able to receive water. Not only that, this project is also going to put up standalone systems. We're talking of water schemes. So we'll look at an area that is not receiving our service, and then through this project, we'll put a separate water scheme just to service that particular area. So with this innovation, we are very confident that once we get on solar, because with solar now, it will mean we run 24/7. Of course, it will be a hybrid kind of a system where we can switch to ZESCO, or we can get back when ZESCO is not available. So with this now, we'll actually have that confidence to say now, the issue of prepaid meter can actually work. So we are targeting, this year to say once these works are actually completed, then we'll have the confidence to say now we can revert back
to the meter. Okay, thank you so much. Maybe due to time, maybe as we conclude, there has been an issue of high bills coming to customers because they are not yet familiar with the postpaid. They got used to the prepaid meter, which worked for well for them, and now they are forced back to the postpaid. And there is an issue of high bills coming, and customers are not able to plan very well in this hard economy. People obviously plan before they receive the bill. They have planned to say, okay, next month we are going to use this much money for water. But then these bills are not consistent. You find today it's 500, the next day it's 150. So this has brought an inconvenience in terms of customers. And noticing this as Chambeshi, is there any lenience that you're going to put across to ensure that customers are not cut off from water? Because water is very important, and we are in the rainy season. What considerations are there for Chambeshi in terms of helping people have water in this difficult situation?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think like I stated earlier on, for us, customer service is actually key. So we are encouraging all customers that have got, issues to come to our offices. When you see that you've got an issue, don't sit back, come to our offices, and I can assure you that we'll find ways and means to actually, to help you. There are certain customers that are billed, for example, on fixed, so you find that sometimes there's no water, but the bill will
still come.
So such customers, we encourage them to come to our offices, to sit down with us. So say, no, at this period I didn't have water, but look at my bill. So we take those into consideration. So we deal, with each customer as an individual. Yeah. So the only encouragement that I can give, to our customers is that, when you have an issue, come through to our offices. Visit our offices, and we'll definitely come through and assist you.
And DM, concerning the same prepaid issue, is it possible for a customer, since we are talking about convenience and planning, which is very important for your customers, with the customers, is it possible for you, for a customer to bill themselves, because the meter reading is there? They know when last they were billed, the date and everything. Then they know when next they are supposed to be billed. From my understanding, it's somewhere around the 14th. That's when the bills come. Is it possible for a customer to bill themselves? themselves, calculate the meter readings. Is it something that a customer is able to do?
You are very right on that one. You are spot on. It is very possible for a customer to be following up on their bill. Like you stated, we've got a billing cycle.
Yes.
Yes. So somewhere around the 13th, 14th, that's when our meter readers will actually come in and start getting these meter readings. So it's very, very possible that a customer can start following that cycle, calculating on their own to say, oh, this meter reader came on the 13th. You also go and pick that reading. Okay. Then the next time when he comes as well, take an interest. I think that way, you'll be able to argue as a customer. Even when our meter reader makes a mistake or for one reason or the other, you'll be able to argue to say, no, that time when you came, this was the meter reading. And the last time you came, this was the meter reading. But how come now you've given me this?
And so it's I'm sorry to interrupt you. Is it a calculation or a formula that is open to the public? That the formula that you do to make the reading?
It's a very simple. It's a very simple calculation. Basically you take your initial reading. That becomes your first reading. Okay. Then the second time you take the final reading. So now to calculate your consumption, you basically just subtract now your final reading from your initial reading. It will give you your consumption. So your consumption, that's where your bill will be computed. So it's a very simple calculation.
Okay, and what do you multiply by to get it in terms of kwacha? How much you're supposed to pay?
To get it in terms of kwacha, we've got now, depending on their bands. So those customers that are actually interested can come through to our offices, and then we'll be able to provide them the billing band. So let's say from 0 to 6 cubic, this is how much it costs. From 6 to 10, this is how much it costs. From 10 to 15, this is how much it costs. For above 15, this is the amount. So you just multiply by that
by a certain amount.
Yes.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much, sir. And maybe as we now conclude, because there are a lot of issues that we can talk about, but mainly this interview was for the prepaid meter, which has been reverted back to the postpaid. In terms of issue high bills coming, I'm sure you've explained very well to say customers can come to the offices. Perhaps there are a few ways that you would love to communicate to the customers with regards to our interview today.
Thank you very much. I think one important issue in that to communicate, with our customer is on the issue of vandalism and illegal connection. Yes. Over the past couple of months, we've actually seen an increase in terms of people vandalizing our installations. So we want to urge our customers to desist from vandalizing these important installations. Government puts in a lot of money, millions upon millions of dollars, to put up water and sanitation infrastructure. Now, when you just go and damage that is public money that you actually destroying or that you are wasting. So my appeal is to our customers that let's guard this investment jealousy to stay protect if you think to fear if it's to save not only us but it will also save our children. So once again, let's avoid vandalism. Also avoid illegal connections. Illegal connections. For us to produce this water, turashitama lights, turashitama chemicals, ama pumps yesu, turashitama spare. No manga turashita producer menshi to amipela. Instead of mulipi the bill, you decide you could bypass meter nishi muleipa company, which is your company. Ngamachita continue kuchita vandalize na illegal connection. Nishi muleipa company. At the end of the day, but Chambeshi bala firopu mpela menshi ayabumi. Remember, water is life. So to support in order for us to continue kumipela amenshi ayabumi. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There you have it. That is the Managing Director for Chambeshi Water and Sanitation Company, having given us a lot of insight about the prepaid meter, which has been done away with, but not exactly done away with, because from his explanation, these meters are still existent in the areas, and soon or later they will be reused again. So there is no need to vandalize those meters for those that are still having these meters, because they are still going to be in use sooner or later. This has been the PAMUPANDO program with me, Clarius Chishipwilo, here on Lono TV. Be sure to join us next time on the program, and of course follow us on Facebook, which is Lono TV, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Lono TV. Lono TV, Lava Nobones, Lono TV, Kumwesu.
We show you how the face of Kasama has changed each and every moment. Our production crew has now advanced in streaming live in full HD up to 4K. Lono Studios is well equipped for the service. We have 4K cameras for high resolution, DJI drone for aerial view, live streaming video switcher, gimbal for smooth rotation over an object, and many more equipments. You can book us for live streaming to render your services in sport activities, church services, road shows, corporate meetings and workshops, social gatherings, and many more adventure activities. Book your session now on 0973 173461. Visit or like our Facebook page at Lono TV. Love ain't no bonus.